Welcome. You're listening to Entertain You. We are a radio program that goes around the world globally thanks to the auspices of Society Bites Radio, which is a part of the Radio Air network that reaches around the globe. And we're doing this all because you're out there listening. We thank you so much. I'm Jeannie Corcoran. I'm the Sarasota County, Florida Film Commissioner, and Society Bites has given me the opportunity to bring some very interesting, different, diverse, talented people that are in the creative arts, whether it's film and television or radio. We've had novelists, we've had writers, producers, and so forth. And we have a young lady with us today who wants to be all of that. She wants to do it all. And she's got a pretty good start. Kristen Kohn, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Kristen is one of these young, up-and-coming production professionals that has an interesting resume, having done a lot of things, even though she's quite young. And she's a role model. She's an example of how she got to be where she is, and maybe she will inspire a listener out there who says, hey, I could maybe follow in that path. I maybe could learn something from her footsteps. So, Kristen, let's just start back at the very beginning. How did you get interested in film, television, or any of the performing arts?
I feel like it just kind of came with me. There was a time where I saw actually a theater performance, and I thought, wow, I really want to perform just like that when I'm older. It slowly turned into TV because everybody wants to be in TV and film, and I just didn't have the confidence to be in theater, too, at that young age. But what really drove me to stay in this career was my dream. So when I was younger, I'm dyslexic, so I got special education and everything, and my dream was always pushing me to keep going forward.
Right.
It motivated me to always go the extra mile, and it never really gave up on me, so I never gave up on it. So I feel like it's like a partner to me.
And you would be amazed at how many really successful, really high IQ, really talented people in this world have been dyslexic.
Mm-hmm.
And they overcome it and learn to work with it and find all kinds of ways around that challenge. But that is a lifelong piece of the puzzle that makes you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it does drive a lot of people to great heights of success. I think Henry Winkler had some learning disability challenges when he was young and went through being, called names by some of his family. And look what a huge success he turned out to be. There is something about when you have to overcome a challenge, and no matter the size or the scope of it, it strengthens you.
Yeah.
And it gives you another dimension. So I'm so glad to hear you say that on the air.
Honestly, I love that I'm dyslexic. I'm not going to lie. I think it was a blessing, really, because it did show me how to work hard.
Right.
And like you said, it motivates you to always stay true to yourself as you work hard at the same time.
Right. And realize that you're an interesting mosaic of all kinds of qualities and strengths. And perfection is impossible for anybody. So make the most of the best out of everything that you've got to work with, which it sounds like what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you started out attracted by the acting side of it in theater, but then you decided TV is the thing everybody watches. So how did you start moving in that direction?
It started out with Disney, like many people. When I was little, I loved watching all the Disney cartoons and everything and animations. And just seeing the other perspectives that you can learn from stories just opened my mind to wanting to understand how others work and how I work and how to better the community and society that way.
Storytelling is part of everybody's life. Everything we do is a story. The story of our lives, the story of others, and how our story intertwines with it. So, it's interesting at a young age to see that, see that storytelling opens up a whole new world of expressiveness to everybody, not just performers, but we're all telling our own stories. So Disney enchanted you.
Yes.
And then tell me where you went from there.
I worked through a high school, kind of a VOTEC, and it was actually the first few years I had started doing this, and I applied to the Visual and Performing Arts Center. So you can go there for multiple things, visual performing arts to culinary to law, and while they teach you other education. And from that, I went to college and I got my bachelor's, which I absolutely loved. The education was great. And that's where I got the first quote that I applied to everything. The president that was leaving that year gave a speech to the freshmen, and she said, purchase is what you make of it. And I went to Purchase College, and I'm like, well, you can apply that to anything. So this job is what you make of it, purchase is what you make of it, and you just gotta figure out the best way to take the best approach.
Right, maximize the opportunity. You know, I think so often people don't realize that. They sit back and wait to react. They wait for it to wash over them and see what it's going to give them instead of grabbing it with both hands and getting the most out of it. It's like wringing it out of a sponge. You know?
Yeah.
Proactively, don't be reactive, be proactive and go after claiming your stake of everything it can give you, everything it can teach you.
Yeah.
So now your bachelor's was in what?
I got a double major and a minor. I got a double major in cinema studies and arts management and a minor in screenwriting.
So you were committed.
Yeah.
You were committed that these were the creative arts you were going to go after.
Yeah, I've always known this since the beginning, which is great.
And you felt like VOTEC, going through a vocational training school, prepared you better for college and helped smooth that path for you? And
I think it kept me focused, 100%. The teachers were fantastic. I actually took dancing. I don't know why.
It's a creative expression. It is a creative expression.
Exactly. But it was funny because I was graduating. She's like, I know you're going to film, but I finally made you a dancer. And so she was absolutely lovely. Her name was Miss Clark. And I do think going to a VOTEC school helped me a lot. I think I would have been still on the same path. I don't know if it would be the same path in a sense.
Right.
Like going down the same college and everything.
Well, everything is a foundational block that you laid in your path, right? That's one of them. And when I hear people say, well, I'm a dancer, or I'm an artist, or I'm a scribe, or I'm a painter, it's all self-expression, and it's all the creative arts.
Yeah.
And we just all express it in our own ways. And I even see it in some of the maths and sciences where people will say, oh, well, I'm not a right brain creative. I'm a left brain linear, I'm a mathematician, or I'm a scientist, or I'm going to go into biology. Right, but you're going to express yourself through what will become your art.
Exactly.
And your art will be, how do you grow it? How do you make it your own? How do you put it back there in the world with your own touches attached to it, right? Mm-hmm. So you come out of Purchase.
Yes.
And where do you go next?
In Purchase, I actually got internships with NBC, which I absolutely loved.
And what state were you in at the time?
I went to school in New York, but it was in Connecticut. So I had to drive a little bit to get there. But
still.
Yeah, it was worth it. I met so many great producers there. I still actually talk to some of them today. And one of them I know is Brittany, and I learned a lot from her. I'm saying I'm a lot, but I absolutely loved it. You learn a lot of experience. It was very fast-paced, something I wasn't expecting at the time, but
they just threw you into the deep end and said swim.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And what were you doing? Were you starting out as like a production intern, just doing whatever duties they assigned, a little bit of everything?
At first, yes, and then they kind of kept me with the showrunners and producers, and it was the PA for them, so I was running around the city making sure we had everything for the show, which was an exercise. So
the ultimate scavenger hunt.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's your list. Go make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's your credit card or whatever they give you. Go fetch. Go get it.
Just make sure you keep the receipt. That was a big thing.
Yeah, keep the receipt. So that's still kind of the rule. I don't care how modernized we get or how e-money we become oriented or Bitcoin or whatever this crazy world turns out to be in terms of currency. You still have to keep your receipts.
Yes.
You still have to document what you spend it on. So, old philosophy, but true. So, you're working for NBC. Mm-hmm. You're in Connecticut. And what's next?
Well, after that, I graduate and I get my job at NHL, BAMTech, which is now transferring into Disney streaming at the current time.
Disney streaming, the giant of the streaming universe at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They are amazing. I absolutely love that place. But it was definitely a turn because I was more working on, streaming, digital media, and I was inside doing editing because I video edit, and it was amazing. absolutely amazing.
And streaming is really, it's just become its own life force.
Yes.
What started out as, we'll have a little bit of stuff online that is an adjunct of having a network television show or a major cable television show. It really seems as if streaming is becoming the major network, and the rest of it is becoming supportive of the streaming content.
Mm-hmm.
So do you see yourself, well, I'm going to let you follow the path. You tell me where you went from there, and so we'll get you to where you are today.
From there, I actually moved to Florida. I stayed with Disney Streaming for a while. They were very supportive of it. I had sat down with my former boss, actually, and I expressed to him that I want to try again to film more. And he was completely supportive of it. He said, go chase your dream. And I'm seeing that a lot with a lot of people, to just keep going for it. And I can't thank those people enough.
Well, your minor was screenwriting, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you've always had that apparent desire to work with scripts and work with screenwriting and tell a story. Again, it goes back to what you're saying, as little as you were when you were fascinated with Disney on television because of the storytelling.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing you say storytelling is a big part of what makes you tick.
Yeah. Like, in my free time, I'll write scripts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a habit. And it feels like I'm working a little bit, but I love it. Mm-hmm. So I always actually have to tell myself to take a step back and do something else so I don't burn myself out. But I do it any time of the day.
Mm-hmm. And you keep all your scripts?
Mm-hmm.
Good. And you put them aside electronically, and then do you go back and look at them periodically and tweak them a little? Or
I do. And I'm actually thinking about having some productions with some of them as well when I've finished them. There are a few ideas that I have that I'm very excited about.
Well, just don't give away any of your plot points or plot twists, or what make your plots unique. Don't do that. Don't do that on the airwaves.
Oh, I won't. No, trust me. No, people will just have to wait to see and look at my websites and stuff.
Yeah. What are your favorite genres?
I love dramatic, inspirational movies.
Oh, nice.
I love comedies. One particular movie I like a lot is The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was brilliantly edited.
He's an amazing actor, too.
Yes. Yeah.
He gives them a lot to work with.
Mm-hmm. I saw a few things, like backstage videos of him on YouTube. And he did one for The Hobbit. And it was just him in this suit and all these dots and everything, because they were catching his movements. Mm-hmm. Because he was the dragon in the last Hobbit movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was very fascinating because he made the voice and he had the face expression. Every little movement that they did, they were able to transfer it into their editing system. And it was, what interests me the most is the tail, because he's human. He doesn't have a tail. But the animation had to, in my mind, this is how I think of it, incorporate kind of this spine on top of his movements to move the tail to match the body movement, to show that it's real. And he's just a brilliant actor. I would love to meet him one day.
Well, we'll just have to try and get him down here to Sarasota County, Florida.
I mean, there's nothing wrong. Florida's really nice. I mean, I'm sure he'll love the beaches and everything. So
we'll have to add that to our wish list of celebrities we want to have come to Sarasota. That'll be one of them. So you're writing scripts, and then you leave Disney in Orlando. I'm assuming you were in Orlando with Disney.
I was actually in New Jersey with Disney.
Oh, in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So you came to Florida after leaving Disney in New Jersey.
Yes.
And then what happened at that point?
Disney recommended actually a job coach for me to talk to, so I did. And if I give any advice today, any at all, like to young